there, everybody, so Bada92 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Higurashi Kai Matsuribayashi. Well, that last episode certainly wasn't happy whatsoever, was it? No, especially not toward the end. No. This is the Higurashi formula. You're not allowed to be happy whatsoever. You would have to be stupid to believe that you'd be happy. Oh my. Yeah, so now we got a glimpse of what the torture session was, and one particular comment kind of decided to go ahead and make it a little bit worse. Thank you very much, Mr. or Mrs. Rukasu Mizukio. So what happened here at 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 46 seconds is that Eriko was tied to the ground in the henhouse, and then they poured chicken food all over her body, which made the chicken peck her to death. The manga shows the entire scene, and as you can imagine, it's quite gruesome. No fucking shit! And because guess what? Fun fact. The comical timing for this, because after I read that comment, what did my Discord decide to do? They decided to show me a couple of the segments of the Higurashi manga, which, because of the brutality, I don't think I'm actually able to show that without this video getting flagged or age restricted because of the severe level of violence that were in those pictures. So in other words, if you want to see this shit, either go to my Discord and go to the Higurashi general section, or you've already read the manga. And considering that you guys have probably already read the manga and have already experienced this, which is probably why you're watching this, yeah, that was okay. Yeah, this orphanage kind of sucks, doesn't it? Kinda. It's not no kind of about it. It really fucking sucks. Oh shit, that's right. I was given a little bit of a tip here. Go ahead and raise it up just a little bit, but not all the way max. Oh, that is infinitely better. How long have I been crying? I don't even know how long I've been comforted like this. Oh. My grandfather's hand is on my cheek to comfort me. I hold the hand lovingly and press my cheek against it. Are you okay? Grandpa? Aww. My grandfather puts his other hand on my head. The warmth of his hands calms me gradually. I see piles of data. It was a mistake to sort out the data while lying on a fluffy carpet. I must have fallen asleep and had a terrible dream. If you sleep facing down, your chest gets pressed, and you often have bad dreams. It's already getting late. Why don't you go to sleep, Miyoko? I'm fine. I need to check something a little bit here. I took a nap, so I'm not sleepy anymore. I'm almost done, so I'm going to finish it up, okay? You have school tomorrow. You should go to sleep. Otherwise, you'll get scolded for yawning again. I've been going to bed late lately, so I yawn a lot at school. My teacher must have written a note to grandfather. I'm fine. I'll go to sleep as soon as I'm done. So please, let me finish, okay? Besides, you shouldn't be minding me. Go back to your study and continue on your article. The day for him to present his research is approaching. He has been working so hard, devoting himself into his research, but unfortunately, there's a limit to what an individual can do. If he wants to continue his research on a deeper level, he needs help. He has to explain that his research could be the key to solve human mysteries, and make people understand what a great work it is. But this research is about something very complicated, so he can't just share it with anybody. There will be someone to help him someday. My grandfather believes so, and continues the research. I want to help him with his research, but all I can do is sort out his data and tidy up his materials. I also help him around the house so he can concentrate on his research.
He always tells me I'm a big help, but that isn't enough for me. I will study hard, get into a good college, and learn many things, so I can actually help him in the research. I'm a mediocre student now, and I don't particularly like school, but I will do it. I want to help my grandfather. If his heart were to fail and he couldn't continue his research, I would give up my heart in a heartbeat. If he needs lungs, I'll give him my lungs. If he needs internal organs, I'll give him my internal organs. There's nothing crazy about it. It's only natural. Because if he had found me a day later, I may not have been alive. Either that, or I may have been someone completely different. In other words, I'm alive because my grandfather came. If he hadn't rushed to find me, I wouldn't be here. So I won't hesitate to give up my life for him.
So he acted really quickly. That's good. Wait. Is this supposed to be move over or moreover?
Moreover, I'd be more than happy to give up my life for him. Even though I want to be with him forever, human lives aren't eternal. Just like how my parents died. It happens so suddenly, without an advance warning. I will never heal from my parents' death. But now that I have my grandfather, I'm not sad. However, his existence isn't eternal either. He may disappear all of a sudden for an unexpected reason. Just like my parents. That's why I wish to be part of him. That way, no matter what happens, we will be together forever. I don't want to be alone again. I want to be with my grandfather forever. I want to help him forever.
Okay, then. Be sure to go to sleep after you finish this, okay? Promise?
Yep, I promise. I promise him. We smile at each other, and grandfather goes back to his study. Dried up tears are making my cheeks itchy. I head to the bathroom to wash my face and brush my teeth. I see my face in the mirror. I don't see my grandfather's features on my face. Of course not. We aren't related. He must have a family too, but I've never heard about them. He doesn't seem to want to talk about that subject, so I don't ask him about it. I don't care if he has real grandchildren or not. Even if I'm not related, I am a granddaughter of Takano Hifumi. I'm not just a granddaughter. I want to be more than that. I don't want it to be a parent and child relationship, nor a lover's relationship. None of these. I want something more spiritual. Something that not even a tragedy can break. I am Takano Miyoko. Takano Hifumi's granddaughter. Maybe it should be Takano Mio. Because my grandfather calls me Mio. Aww. I want to succeed Hifumi's spirit. If his name counts up to 3, then I want to share that 3 with him and continue to count to 4. Today my name changes. I write my new name on the mirror. Takano Mio. What a wonderful name for the new me.
Colonel, sir! Good to see you again! Wait, that's her? Oops, sorry. Takano-kun, come on, no more Colonel stuff. No. I was worried when I heard you were ill. You sure look great now.
My grandfather always told me he doesn't have any friends. He used to tell me everyone died in the war, but that's not true. He has one very close friend. This is him. He's an elderly man my grandfather calls Colonel Koizumi. Koizumi? I don't know exactly where they met, but every time they get together, All they talk about is the military and the war. So I guess they met in the military.
Look at you, Mio-chan. Mio-chan. How tall are you now?
He just had physical checkup the other day, and I think I've grown 2 centimeters.
Ah, that's wonderful. Good girl. Make sure you don't ever use that American measurement system. Make sure you eat well, play a lot, and grow big and healthy, okay? I envy you, Takano-kun, for having such a cute granddaughter.
Mr. Koizumi knows that grandfather and I aren't related, but he always calls me his granddaughter. That makes me very happy, so I pour a little more black tea in his cup. After I finish serving tea, I leave with a bow. I want to stay and listen to them talk, but I guess grandfather doesn't want me to hear stories of the war, so he always makes me leave. I leave before he makes me leave, but that doesn't mean I go to a different room. It means I go to the other side of this huge living room. Although I'm not right by them, I sit on a sofa and listen to their conversation. And if they need something, I'll come help them right away. I try to earn points by doing things like that. I sit on a sofa away from them and start reading the encyclopedia. While doing that, I try to listen to their conversation.
Oh, that's great. The professor said they want to come over on Sunday, the week after next.
Really? Oh, thank you very much, Koizumi-san.
Ah, don't mention it. This just means the report you wrote was that interesting, Takano-kun. They show much interest. They even said it's possible for this research to get a Nobel Prize.
A Nobel Prize? That sounds wonderful.
My grandfather laughs. Since he laughs so cheerfully, something great must have happened. Mr. Koizumi probably showed his article to the experts of the society, and supposedly they are extremely interested in it. That means they recognized grandfather's research. That makes me happy, too.
But what worries me is that you'll get infected with the Hinamizawa syndrome yourself. Make sure you don't end up ripping open your own throat, okay?
Well, maybe I'm already infected. But the Hinamizawa syndrome is harmless if you live a normal life. It was a dangerous disease when the villagers believed in Oyashiro-sama and bound themselves with strict rules. But it hardly happens nowadays.
After that many cases?
Well, the emotional state has a lot to do with the development of the Hinamizawa syndrome. As long as you live a normal life, there's nothing to worry about.
So, when one is under a lot of pressure, like, during the war, it develops?
That's right. Well, there's nothing to worry about. The subjective symptom of the initial phase is suspicion towards everything. Very much like symptoms of depression. Once you notice it, you can relax emotionally and physically by using my breathing method. And you should also get at least, 9 hours of sleep a night over a 1-week period. Wait a minute. What about it? That's actually around the amount of sleep that I get, actually. Lucky, if I'm lucky. Well, that's how you prevent it. In fact, of all the Hinamizawan soldiers under my direction, not even one died mysteriously.
As he talks, grandfather starts the Takano breathing method and a mysterious exercise. According to him, the exercise relaxes the body and lets blood and lymphatic fluid flow smoothly. As a result, you're relaxed emotionally too. But the movements of the exercise are so strange. I look away because grandfather looks silly. I feel bad about this one thing. Oh. Grandfather asks me to do this exercise too. I don't want to make him sad, so I do it when he asks me.
I'm glad to hear that. Noguchi Hideo died in the middle of his research. Hideyoshi! So, please, be careful, okay?
However, Noguchi-sensei's great work is still acknowledged even after his death. As a researcher, I'm sure that that was his long-term goal.
Grandfather tells me about Noguchi Hideo often. He was born as the son of a poor farmer, but he studied hard and became a doctor.
Okay, so maybe not. Keep making parallels to freaking Umineko.
However, because of his educational background, he was mistreated, so he left Japan. He moved to the United States.
Terrible choice, really. Sorry.
He made many accomplishments as a researcher. He discovered a vaccine for yellow fever.
Yellow fever. I feel like I've heard of that. I think. Is that supposed to be? No, that can't be a reference to jaundice. No, I don't think so. I'm an idiot. Somebody please correct me. You need to understand I'm a complete dumbass.
Grandfather's background is somewhat similar to his, so he often said he admired him the most. Noguchi Hideo died in North Africa. The vaccine they discovered for yellow fever. He heard it wasn't effective on yellow fever in North Africa. He went to North Africa to research it, came down with the disease and died.
Ouch.
A researcher losing his life for his research. Sometimes that is a test of a researcher's braveness. In that sense, Grandfather is very brave to visit Hinamizawa himself to gather information. He himself says he may already be infected. He also says that although the Hinamizawa syndrome was feared hundreds of years ago, nowadays it coexists with humans just like any other bacterium. Many people developed the syndrome during the war, but that was because they were in an extremely abnormal situation. In today's peaceful environment, it's almost impossible for a person to develop the syndrome. He sounds very optimistic, but he never brought me with him to Hinamizawa, so maybe he isn't as optimistic as he sounds. However, since I live with him, there's a possibility that I'm already infected as well. But I'm not worried at all. That's because Grandfather has already taught me that as long as I maintain myself properly, I won't develop the syndrome. I know all about the horrible final phase symptoms of the Hinamizawa syndrome, but I'm not overly fearful of them. Grandfather is enjoying his conversation with Mr. Koizumi. That's understandable. Mr. Koizumi told him some people showed a strong interest in his report. They even want to come over on Sunday, the week after next, to meet and talk to him directly. Because of the rapid progress of the medical field, the unknown area is getting smaller and smaller. The Hinamizawa syndrome that was discovered by Grandfather might be a new continent. It will be decided in 2 weeks. It sounds like there will be more than one person coming. It also sounds like they are all important people of the society. They are all rich and famous, yet they aren't satisfied with just that. They all want to be involved with something that's worth an international reward.
Award, fuck!
This is a chance to gain assistance and sponsorship at the same time.
Well, I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'll make sure to be here. Good luck.
Thank you very much. I owe you everything.
It's too early to say that. Let's wait until you find sponsors. When that time comes, let's have a toast with that treasured wine.
That was the last conversation between them. My grandfather keeps his head down until Mr. Koizumi is gone. It sounds like he set up this great chance for Grandfather. So I put my head down like my grandfather.
Did you hear that? Finally, there's a chance for me. There are people who are interested in my report.
I know, I heard. Now you'll have people to help you.
It's not for sure yet.
Although he doesn't want to admit it, he has a good feeling about this. All of his efforts are about to be acknowledged.
Wait. Let's...
Sunday, the week after next?
Yep. I'll be busy. The first impression depends on my presentation. I have to rearrange my data. No, I probably should practice explaining things in front of people. Anyway, I have to make sure I don't forget anything.
Boy, it'll be a lot of work to rearrange your data. Your handwriting is bad, so maybe you should write big.
Anyway, I'll be busy. The next 2 weeks will go by fast.
You're right. I'll help you too. All the formalin jars have to be dusted. Formalin? Formalin? Also, we have to straighten the data papers too. Maybe we can put them under a rug overnight. That should fix it, don't you think?
We have plenty of things to do. Mio, could you help me?
Of course. I'll skip school so I can help you.
No. You can't miss school.
We laugh together and we pump our fists to encourage each other. Since that day, my grandfather spent more time in his study. It's not easy to create a report to show people. Copying machines hadn't been invented back then, so everything had to be handwritten. He knows it somewhere, but he just can't remember where he put the data he needs. As for me, I have to make sure I have enough guest cups to serve tea. I count them. Do I have enough tea leaves? Maybe I should get something to go with tea. My grandfather knows nothing about these things. There's a whole list of things to do. I need to clean the windows so the room will be bright. What else? The 2 weeks pass quickly while we're busy getting things done. What a wonderful 2 weeks it is. I can finally feel that I'm actually doing something to help my grandfather with his research. I hope the day of the meeting will be a memorable day for my grandfather. I hope that day will be a beautiful and clear day. Just as I wished, it is a beautiful day. Evening time. My grandfather dressed formally, and he walks around in his study nervously. I'm also in my beautiful dress. I've only worn it once before in my piano recital. But I'm not nervous like grandfather. His silly nervousness actually relaxes me. Are they here yet? Grandfather looks out the window. Then a black car stops in front of the gate. Back then, a car was a luxury item. I don't think I'd even one classmate whose family owned a car. So it is natural that the men coming out of the car look respectable. Grandfather and I run out to welcome them.
Welcome. I am Takano. Thank you for coming today.
May I take your jacket? I assist too. I'm no longer relaxed. Both my grandfather and I are supremely nervous.
Nice to meet you, Doctor. And hello, little girl. Are you his granddaughter?
Yes. Mio.
Yes, Mio.
Please say hello.
Very nice to meet you. I'm Takano Mio.
What a good girl. I'm here in place of Koizumi-sensei. Something came up and he can't make it today. He is very sorry.
I see. I'm sorry to hear that.
The one who set up everything isn't here. My grandfather had the treasured wine ready, according to the promise from 2 weeks ago.
Everyone, let me introduce you. This is Dr. Takano Hifumi. Dr. Takano was a leading person at the Research Center for the Prevention of Epidemics in Manchuria during the war. He has made many advances in developing compound food and compound alcohol as measures against malnutrition and shortages of food.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for
I wish I knew who was talking! Fuck!
The men are all older than my grandfather. They take off their hats one at a time to greet him. Their beards, expensive-looking canes.
I almost read that as their expensive-looking beards. Pfft.
And glasses tell me that they are higher up the authorities of the society. Grandfather bows to each one of them.
Everyone, please come into the study. Please excuse the mess. Please come in. Mio, serve tea for everyone.
Yes. I wasn't nervous at all earlier, but I think I'm the most nervous one now. I'm not the one making the presentation. I'm not the one being criticized. It is ridiculous that I'm this nervous. I don't know if I should use that as my excuse. Because of the nervousness, I spilled the hot water I had ready for the black tea I bought for this day. I apologized to my grandfather and started to boil water again. I just need enough for the guests. By the time I have cups of tea and cookies ready, grandfather's presentation is halfway done.
It penetrates to the spinal cord through blood or lymphatic fluid. Then through the cerebrospinal fluid, it reaches the brain. I've confirmed many cases of encephalitis after autopsies. Eosinophilic meningioencephalitis is also caused by eelworms. Its behavior is very similar.
Grandfather walks around as he points to some formalin jars. There are over 100 formalin jars with parts of brains in them. They were all very dusty, so I spent a few days cleaning them. So I'm rather proud to see the sparkling jars all lined up.
However, the symptoms of eelworms are multi-branched. A headache, narcosis, derangement. There aren't any specific symptoms. On the other hand, symptoms of the Hinamizawa syndrome are very characteristic.
You're saying one of them is to rip open one's own throat, right?
Exactly. Some soldiers witnessed it just before their fellow soldier died. Such self-mutilation was never seen before in any disease. It's only the Hinamizawa syndrome. Also, since that symptom was only seen with terminal phase patients, I think that's an exodus, just like diseases caused by some parasites. Parasites mature inside of a human body and reproduce, then leave the host and look for the next host.
So what do you think about the fact that the cases were only with the soldiers from Hinamizawa, even though other soldiers touched their blood which was full of parasitic eggs or lava? Don't you think there was a possibility of them getting infected?
I suspected things like an incubation period, but since it was limited to the area of Hinamizawa, I think the unique local weather had something to do with it. I'll talk about that in the next chapter, but the old belief of Hinamizawa has...
That can't be possible, Dr. Takano. I've never heard of parasites behaving socially.
No, I mean, that is one of the revolutionary discoveries of the Hinamizawa syndrome.
The elderly gentlemen mumbled to each other while pointing at the data. I finally realized things aren't going too well.
We just reviewed your data. First of all, it is simply impossible for parasites to control human minds.
I don't know, have you ever heard of cordyceps? Oh wait, that's only in some insects. Whoops.
Human thoughts are controlled by the brain, which is a work of art created by God. Oh my God. Humans are the only beings who are able to have thoughts on this earth. You are saying there are parasites that tamper with that? Please, that is absurd.
I agree. Thoughts allow one to think about a group rather than an individual. In other words, that is the most important prerequisite condition for a society. Parasites just can't do that. Oh wait.
Even biologically speaking, there is no precedent of parasites behaving socially.
But there are cases of parasites interfering with the host's behavior.
You're misunderstanding one thing, Dr. Takano. The principle of parasites interfering with the host's behavior is based on the primitive idea of reproduction. Just like the example you used before, a rat infected with toxoplasma losing its natural instinct to run from a cat is simply part of the process of switching hosts.
That's just like a grasshopper infected with a horsehair worm drowning itself. Once the horsehair worm matures, it becomes aquatic. When that happens, it guides a grasshopper to the water and drowns it. Then it enters the water. Exactly. That's the Hinamizawa syndrome suicidal symptom of ripping one's own throat. For example, guinea pig bugs get out of the body by having the host scratch the affected area.
That's right. The purpose of all the parasites is reproduction. For them to infest a human brain. Well, to infest a human brain is one thing. But to affect human thoughts? That's absurd. In fact, that's a dangerous idea.
I don't think it's strange that Hinamizawa created its own belief system. There are actually many cases like that all over Japan. Oh wait,
I don't think it's... You know what? I don't think it's strange that Hinamizawa created its own belief system. There are actually many cases like that all over Japan. So are you saying all of them were due to parasites? That they were all due to cultural reasons except the one in Hinamizawa, which was caused by parasites? How did you prove that?
No. As I already said, from the results of the autopsies I performed on Hinamizawa soldiers, I concluded many...
Excuse me, Dr. Takano. I don't think you've gathered enough case studies to call it a clinical data. Furthermore, as you said, it was during the war.
No. I mean, as I explain in the next chapter, the Hinamizawa syndrome develops when one experiences suspicion, nervousness, and stress, and becomes emotionally unbalanced.
If there are more than a few cases of such self-mutilating incidents, then maybe it would be prudent to suspect some kind of a commonality. But that's why it's not accountable. Maybe it was just a coincidence that such rare cases happened under abnormal circumstances like the war. Dr. Takano, you may have seen such a coincidence and mistakenly assumed that there was a correlation.
To prove that's wrong, you would need an enormous amount of clinical pathology data of Hinamizawa syndrome patients. But ethically, that's impossible.
The natives explain things as a curse, but it is more likely a kind of culture-bound reactive syndrome. And you think that it is a parasitic delusional disease? I hate to say this, but I think you admire the belief in Hinamizawa too much, and as a result you yourself have been taken in by the culture-bound reactive syndrome. Actually, that happens quite often with people who research things in mysterious fields. We're trying to be careful ourselves.
Grandfather's face is gradually becoming pale. I'm stunned. We've never heard of parasites like that. It was just a coincidence and there isn't enough data. The talk goes on, and every time Grandfather says something, they dismiss it. All he can do is be silent.
However, no discovery is accepted at first.
I think this research of yours is one of those. Even if it was ridiculed at first, it may be acknowledged in later years. That happens all the time.
I'm just an amateur. I'm just a private researcher who didn't graduate from an elite college, nor did I belong to any academic clique. Of course I don't have any connections with experts or research centers. That's why this is all I can do. Is the Hinamizawa syndrome real? Or is it just my delusion, just like you all say? To find out, I need your help.
Of course, if this was the discovery of the century, it would create a major sensation. After all, it says parasites control human culture as well as human thoughts. The frontal lobe of the brain is simply a place for parasites to live.
If a link between the existence of the Hinamizawa syndrome and the infected people's belief in Oyashiro-sama could be established, then it would be possible to explain all the religions, know all the cultures and the boundaries on Earth.
That is such a magnificent and unique idea. Dr. Takano, you should publish your idea so the general public can read about it instead of having us read it quietly.
Grandfather is looking down, and his fists are trembling a little. This is too cruel. I don't know anything academically. I'm just a little girl. I don't know exactly what they are talking about. Grandfather worked so hard by himself until today. To further his research, he needs sponsors. Yet they are saying his research is simply a delusion. That is an absurdity. Just like the question of which came first, the chicken or the egg. Besides, if his research had reached the level those cheeky men want, he wouldn't need their help. But they are saying they can't help unless they see some results that are beyond the level of private research. In any field, doesn't a research start out with just a little idea? If you can prove its existence before you research about it, then what's the point of researching it? If a wild idea can't be the subject of research, how did knowledge make such progress? But never mind that. When Mr. Koizumi came 2 weeks ago, didn't he say that they were showing strong interest in his research? What's going on here? This is the complete opposite of what he said.
Yes, I think this is a very interesting research. The human brain still holds many secrets.
Dr. Takano's article is extremely unique, especially from the eugenic point of view. I don't think we should ignore this.
Humans are not God's children. Humans are simply baptized animals. According to Darwin, each environment has an effect on the progress of evolution. In other words, humans can be either superior or inferior. As a nation, we must think how we can keep good bloodlines and how we can leave good genes behind. We have to research that as a national policy. Otherwise, humans will receive a fatal ranking order in the coming century.
Dr. Takano's research has the potential of reaching beyond parasitic diseases.
If it's possible to prove that crime is due to a disease, not genes, then criminals can be treated by surgical means. As a result, we can leave wonderful people for our future. From the eugenic point of view, Dr. Takano's research should get started immediately. It's possible that this could be the greatest discovery since the invention of lobotomy surgery. If the causality between the infectious disease and one's nature could be established, this would be more than a Nobel Prize.
Koizumi-sensei, thank you for giving me this chance.
Takano-kun is such a single-minded and passionate guy. But he's not good at dealing with people. He's been working on his research all by himself. But now he has hit the limit and he needs help. Please, everyone, listen to what Takano-kun has to say.
Oh, please don't send... Who the hell's talking? I think it's Takano right now. Oh, please don't, Sensei. We are the ones who should be thanking you for this opportunity.
We are already willing to help him. Actually, coordinating the territories of the society is a more urgent matter.
I would like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to be involved in such a unique research project at this age. There's a knock on the door. The sliding door opens and the owner peeks in. Excuse me, there's someone asking for you. May I bring him in?
Someone? Who could it be?
The owner whispers into his ear and his face turns pale suddenly.
Please. No, I'll come with you.
As Koizumi stands up, the footsteps reach the door. Sensei, I didn't expect you to be here. Oh, wait. Koizumi-kun, long time no see. I have something I need to tell you today.
Yes? If you need to tell me something, I'm all ears. Please.
Koizumi isn't someone of a low status. Although he has already retired, he is still powerful enough to be influential. From his meek attitude, it's easy to figure out what kind of person this man is. The old man walks as he holds onto his bodyguard's shoulder. He has an expensive-looking cane in his other hand. He can't even walk on his own because of his old age. Oh, this is oh wait, are we back over here now? Like in the present? Wait, not the present, but that meeting? I'm having such a hard time getting a grasp on what the time is. He can't even walk on his own because of his old age, but his dignity and intensity are still very strong.
I'll be direct. Your friend's research. You need to stop that.
Huh?
What do you mean? Izumi-kun, he must take his knowledge of the Hinamizawa syndrome to his grave. Nobody should touch it. If anybody looks into it, if you poke a bush, a snake will come out. It'll be a huge snake, too. I can't just watch you get bitten by it. That's why I'm here to tell you something. Can your friends wait for a little? How about it? Do you want to have some drinks with me in a different room? Yes!
Okay. Oh, wait. Is this where they is this where they're like told, okay, do not support this research? I'm assuming so?
Yes, I'll come with you.
Koizumi realizes that this is pressure. He doesn't know which direction it's coming from, but some elders don't feel good about the research of the Hinamizawa syndrome and are trying to stop him from backing up this research. Jesus, man.
Koizumi-kun, do you remember the Roko Bridge incident? This is just nonsense. We came here today expecting to hear a more objective side. Normally we wouldn't come all the way here for something like this, but since Koizumi-sensei asked us, we didn't have a choice.
This really was a waste of time, but in a way it was a good thing we came. We are able to give you some advice. You know, if you're going to spend the rest of your life on some worthless research like this, why don't you take up bonsai? Bonsai is great!
I agree. It's not healthy to just stare at formalin jars in this study. But it sure is a unique subject. If you want, I'll introduce you to the chief of a publishing company. The general public loves things like this, you know.
They don't even try to hide their hostility. They laugh at grandfather, denounce him, and keep saying things to deny not only his research, but his personality as well. If they are simply provoking him, any response will just prove them right. Grandfather tries to be a superior researcher, as well as a proud existence. He's no longer trembling. On the contrary, he apologizes to them for taking up their time, and tells them he has no intention of keeping them any longer.
We'll give this article back to you. It'd be so much easier if we could actually call this an article.
One of the elderly gentlemen tosses the article back. Grandfather can't catch it. The article he worked so hard on falls onto the floor, and the papers scatter all over the carpet. The elderly gentleman leaves the study without even apologizing for it. Everyone else follows him. As they leave, they step on Grandfather's article. Grandfather's expression doesn't change. But I see things warp. I see the wall behind Grandfather warp. I jump. I grab onto the elderly gentleman's leg. I don't hate him. If I were asked if I hate him or not, the answer would be yes, but that's not the point here. I can't stand this foot that steps on my grandfather's article. Don't step on it! Don't step on it! Grandpa worked so hard on it, don't step on it! I just want to move the foot that is standing on the papers, but the foot doesn't move no matter how hard I push or pull, as if it's rooted to the floor. And I feel someone grabbing me from behind. It's Grandfather.
Please excuse my granddaughter. Don't worry about this. We'll clean this up.
Don't step on them. I'm telling you not to step on my grandpa's article. My scream doesn't mean a thing. They completely ignore my scream. They continue to step on the papers and leave the study. Only Grandfather and I are left. My grandfather is still grabbing the back of my collar. I don't have any words coming from my mouth, I'm just crying. But my father is determined not to show his emotions. Father? He is pretty much her father at this point. He doesn't even move his mouth, so I believe I have to cry for him. My grandfather slaps my face. I'm startled, I'm crying for him, so why does he slap me? Then I understand. Grandfather is the one who wants to cry, but he's enduring, so I shouldn't cry either. I wipe my eyes and my runny nose, then I look at the papers on the carpet silently, just like Grandfather. Sorry.
Mio.
I don't understand why he's apologizing. I thought he was going to complain about their rudeness.
If I had worked harder, this wouldn't have happened. Until today. You helped me so much for nothing. Sorry about that.
How courageous he is. Even after that disaster, he is concerned about me. I shake my head and put my hands on the floor. I tried to gather the papers. Then, they began to fall. My tears start to overflow again and blur the ink on the papers. They are all handwritten by Grandfather. He was so happy that finally there was someone who understood his research. He was so happy. He spent all night writing these. But they stepped on them. They might as well have stepped on Grandfather's spirit. I didn't work hard enough. If I had done more, this wouldn't have happened. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll work even harder. I won't give up because of something like this. I don't know if he said that to me or to himself. Don't worry. God is watching. I have to believe that I'll be recognized.
That day will come someday. That's why I have to keep working.
Grandfather says that all the time. But I know God only plays with people's fate. He doesn't save out of goodwill. That's why he let this happen to Grandfather, though he's worked so hard and so humbly until today. That's why he let such a horrible thing happen to me when I was still an innocent little girl. Grandfather keeps repeating, but I know God exists. The existence Grandfather believes in exists. But there's no mercy. He delivers an unreasonable fate and makes us call it a challenge. I can't tell Grandfather that, of course. I ask God once more like I did on the day of the thunderstorm. Why? Why can't you give Grandfather a fair evaluation for all of his hard work? Grandfather tells me that he'll gather the papers, so I should put away the teacups. I nod silently and put the teacups that haven't even been touched onto the servant cot. As I push it out of the study, Grandfather tells me. He tells me to close the door after I leave. I always close the door when I leave. He doesn't need to remind me. But that's what he wants, so without saying anything, I close the door. Then as I walk away from the study, I hear Grandfather sobbing. Tears fill my eyes again. Sadness and disappointment. I almost feel angry with myself for not being able to do anything for him. Jeez. Then I feel a cool breeze on my wet cheeks. That's the breeze coming from the cracked open window. The curtain is flapping gently. I hear the cry of the Higurashi. As I listen to them, I calm down gradually. If I can ease Grandfather's pain by crying, I'll cry in his place. But that won't help. On the contrary, he started to cry because I cried. I'm being useless here. I remember that day. I remember the reason why I'm alive now. If he hadn't come and saved me, I would have spent the last days of my life as a piece of meat in the shape of human, lying in the corner of the bathroom. Grandfather saved me. He gave me back my rights. The right to walk.
You know what? I wonder if they actually got that orphanage taken care of, like, the clear human rights violations. Like, seriously. I hope, at least at some point, Takano was like, oh, by the way, I actually know this lovely little orphanage that greatly abuses children. I have a few people that you should probably shove a shank right up their ass for me. It would be absolutely appreciated. And also, go ahead and wrap that particular man up into a rug and then beat him mercilessly with these lovely metal bats that have nails attached to them. Oh, and be sure to light them on fire as well. It'll be great. Thank you. The right to walk. The right to stand up. The right to wear clothes. The right to eat.
the right to speak, and the right to think. In other words, the right to live as a human being. Grandfather took action right after the phone call from me. He found my house, and he found out which orphanage I was sent to, after going through sloppy paperwork of the government office. Then he saved me. Of course, he was working on his research then. He spent his precious research time to save me, a stranger. I vowed that if his heart failed, I'd rip my heart out and give it to him. But of course, his heart is fine. So he doesn't need a heart. He needs something else that's equally important. There's something only I can give him in this whole world. I clench my fists and hold them so tightly that my nails leave marks. I now know that what I'm supposed to do with this new life as Takano Mio. I finally know. I know the reason why the new me was born. I know the purpose of Takano Mio. To fulfill a wish and weave a desired future. The strength of a string is how strong your will is. A noble and strong wish will come true. I thought I knew my grandfather's greatness, but I actually didn't know it all. For me to be able to really help him, I have to reach his level. All the subjects lead to grandfather. There's nothing I can ignore. To study hard is what I can do for grandfather right now. I've been a art teacher for a long time, but I've never seen such a hard-working student.
You've not only learned academic... Okay, I'm assuming this is actually one of her teachers. You know what? Let's try something different here. Yeah, fuck it, we'll just give him the Oishi. It's a popular one.
I've been a teacher for a long time, but I've never seen such a hard-working student. You've learned not only academically, but socially as well. Made lots of friends.
Actually, fuck! Damn it!
I have a goal which only I can reach by studying hard. Also, I know how powerless an isolated genius is. That's why I needed to learn to socialize. That's not enough. I'm not even close to where I want to be. Entering college is only a step forward. What matters is what I learned there. I'm not even close. I'm not even close to being able to help my grandfather.
Leo! I'm so proud of you. You can go to the Tokyo University of Ochanomizu University, or any college of your choice. Nothing will stop you. The most important thing for you is that the school will teach you what you want to learn.
A big decision that inhabits a tiny soul. If my life is heavier than the earth, then my decision is heavier than the earth. Do I have what I need to be able to really understand the Hinamizawa syndrome and help grandfather in his research? I don't need a compromise or an excuse. My goal is high and challenging. This isn't enough. Not even close. My classmates look so stupid, acting as if they're the winners in life just because they entered this school. A college is simply a place to learn what I need to know. If this self-proclaimed best school isn't worth my time, I'm not interested.
I didn't expect a talented woman like you to come to this parasite research center. I'm sure everyone wanted you, huh? I assumed you're interested in something bigger?
I want to study and research parasites. I've worked hard to earn the qualifications to study here. Aren't I qualified to learn here?
Well, yes! There's no reason why you would refuse someone who got the top score on the entrance exam. Welcome to the Parasite Research Center. People usually don't like our field. There aren't too many researchers. That's why there are still more unknown areas than in other fields. Fair enough.
That's right. The world of parasites is an unknown world. Or rather, it's an ignorant world. An ignorant world with a preconception that parasites can't possibly control humans pervades. And those ignorant people laughed at grandfather and stepped on his article. There are still many unsolved mysteries in the world of parasites. I'm here to solve them. I came here to help the people who want to solve them.
A wish that's guaranteed to come true is not called a wish. That is fate, not a wish. I read fate. Fate is an absolute power to control people and the world, not just an individual.
Learning isn't enough for me. I have to be able to research with my grandfather. I don't ignore the means to gain the help grandfather couldn't get. Grandfather's research doesn't end when it gets completed on a desk. I need the help of lots of people to present it, so his great work will be praised.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of pause here just for a second. I'm happy, kind of, that I'm getting a little bit more backstory on Takano. That way she's not a one-note psychotic villain, okay? I can understand her whole drive right now. I can get it. She had a fucked up life. Well, early parts at least. Kind of. Fuck that orphanage.
That's right. This is an association.
Oh, that's right!
God damn it.
Fuck it, let's go with Richard this time. That's right. This is an association only the top graduates of the Imperial University are allowed to join. Therefore, only 7 people per year are allowed to join, so it is a small group compared to a normal organization of alumni. However, its solidarity is unrivaled.
Thank you for inviting me to such a gathering. I'm honored. I would like to take the lowest seat.
Oh my, no! We can't let someone with such accomplishments and experience sit in the lowest seat. I'm sure everyone will welcome you. The cabinet minister and several important government officials, company presidents, and company advisors will be here. They'll all need you, and they will provide you with the help you need.
Koizumi Sensei belongs to this association, right? He was my grandfather's best friend. What a coincidence.
I see. I'm sure Korizumi-sensei will be glad to find out you are joining.
An isolated genius is useless. People live in a society. A society is made up of connections between people. Nobody can ignore that. I do my best as an individual. And to gain the power that can't be achieved as an individual, I can't deny the connections with the society. It's all for my purpose. My only wish as Takano Mio. That's right. I shouldn't spare any effort. My absolute will create an absolute future. Nobody can interfere. Nobody can stop me. I won't allow the die to roll a 1. I won't admit that diligent efforts can be erased by a mere train accident. I'm going to make a die that rolls 6. I won't entrust my die with God. I won't give in to luck. Only people who don't want to work hard pray to God. Jesus, I don't trust God. I'm going to create results. My strong will is going to create an absolute future that God can't prevent. This is a different way to become a god than the one grandfather taught me. This is a way to become a god while still being alive. While still alive. When I realize it, I become free. Free from the sadness of losing my parents and the miserable life after that. Free from grandfather's tears when his article was stepped on. That's right. I'll be above God. I'll be an existence that God's caprices can't touch. I'll make people acknowledge grandfather's research. That's the future I wish for. The future I promised would come to pass. People will fight over grandfather's article. People will respectfully read the same article that was once ridiculed and stepped on. Even if grandfather dies before that day comes, I won't cry for something like that. Because grandfather already taught me. Even after being buried, one can be revived. I'm going to complete his great work, and the whole world will praise him. That's when grandfather will revive and become a god. He will be eternal. That's an eternal bond. A bond not even a train accident can break. A bond that not even a die that rolls a 1 can bother. Since the day of the train accident, my die has kept rolling a 1. But I didn't give up. I kept working hard until today. I'll rise above the die. I'll decide what to roll on the die. I'll decide my own fate. I'll do that with my unshakable willpower.
Fuck!
Inamizawa. It's been some time.
When does the clinic open? Is there going to be air conditioning?
I heard it'll open next month. I hope there'll be a young... Oh, wait, that's her.
I heard that it'll open next month. I hope there'll be a young doctor. I heard some old ladies talking when I was going up the stairs to the shrine. God damn it. Why can't we have some house to them? We were out to talking. Fuck. The Erie Eye Clinic is already completed and it's waiting to be opened. State-of-the-art equipment has been delivered and the research is waiting to be started as well. Of course, Erie is still standing by at his best condition, and he's almost as passionate as I am about the Hinamizawa syndrome. The Mountain Hounds, the counterintelligence units to support the research, are already stationed at a dummy company somewhere near Okinomiya. They are getting in touch with various public institutions. Everything is going well. The only thing to worry about would be the rumors about the Hinamizawa Dam construction plan. There's a rumor that says they plan to build a dam that will submerge Hinamizawa and the surrounding area. The plan came from the Ministry of Construction, and pressure from different directions is being applied. None of my contacts have much influence on the Ministry of Construction, so things aren't going well. Even if applying pressure doesn't work, there are other measures, so either way it'll come to a deadlock. I'm not being optimistic. I just know that's how it'll end. I'm going to conduct research here in Hinamizawa. I'm going to accomplish that with my absolute will. That's why even if God rolls a 1 on the die and says he is going to submerge Hinamizawa, I will not be afraid. I won't entrust my die with God. I'm the one to pick up the die, and I'm going to roll a 6. I didn't come to this shrine to declare war on the god of this place. I came because I know there's a great viewing spot here. I walk by the shrine and head to the spot I found last time I was here. It's a perfect spot to overlook the entire village. The strong wind reminds me I'm only at the starting line, and there will be a headwind before I reach my goal. I overlook the village without faltering in the wind. Grandfather approached the Hinamizawa syndrome from a medical point of view, but he also approached from a folklore point of view as well. The strange beliefs of this village are proof that the existence of the Hinamizawa syndrome was already known in ancient times, so to be extremely meaningful to research it. My grandfather hasn't been researching for hundreds of years, but this place has been here for hundreds of years and they've been living with the Hinamizawa syndrome for that long. The belief created by this place and the legend itself are the foremost researchers. It is simply stupid to call them just old folk tales or nonsense. I've been researching them slowly, but they are indeed very interesting. No wonder Grandfather was intrigued by them. The Hinamizawa syndrome has many interesting sides. It's just like a kaleidoscope. With a change of an angle, it shows infinite glitter. It's so much fun to trace Grandfather's research. Finding the same research results as Grandfather reminds me that I am indeed following in his footsteps, which makes me very happy. Oh, yeah. This shrine in this shrine and shrines, shrine and shrines, shrine and shrines of Yashiro-sama, the guardian deity of the village. But this god the villagers admire is simply a delusion that was created by parasites. When I solve the secret and announce it to the world, the god of this place will be no more. That's the moment I take revenge on the one who put me through misery and tested my fate. I get it. This isn't just to make my grandfather's dream come true. This is also to take revenge for my unfortunate life. I'm back in front of the shrine. I see an offering box and I'm tempted to throw in some coins. But you put in coins to ask for mercy. I don't entrust my fate with God, so I don't need to give an offering. I'm going to unmask him. But until then, Oyashiro-sama is God. Okay, in that case, I'll show some respect for you for now. As a declaration of war, I pull out a 10-yen coin from my wallet. The 10-yen coin I found in the telephone box changed my life. If it hadn't been there, my life would have ended then. I'm grateful, at least for that 10-yen coin. I'm not grateful to the god enshrined at this shrine, though. But I haven't forgiven you yet. I never expected anything from you, and I'm here because of my own hard work. Even if you keep playing tricks of fate on me, or keep rolling a 1 on the die, that won't bother me. With my strong will, I'm going to get what I want. My grandfather will be praised and become a god because of the research I'll do in this place. I will defeat the god of this place and become an existence above God. Since when did I care about God, huh? Maybe because grandfather often talked about God. Here, this is the 10-yen coin you gave me before. I don't owe you anything anymore. You remain where you are and keep challenging people in your ill manner. I'm going to challenge you now to defeat you. I offer a 10-yen coin as payback to God. For a moment, I don't understand what just happened. The 10-yen coin was supposed to fall into the offering box. But how can I explain this? That's not what happened. I aimed right. Who could miss an offering box anyway? That's not it. Because the 10-yen coin stopped in midair, as if it got stuck in a spiderweb. Then it bounced back to me and fell by my feet. It was as if the offering box refused the coin. Of course, an offering box is to respect God, but what I did was to challenge God. That means this is... I jump, because I thought I was the only one here. Anyone would jump to find there's someone else standing there unexpectedly. Oh!
Oh! Oh, Hanyu! Why are you appearing before me, oh? Huh?
How long has she been there? It's like she came out from the shrine. A mysterious girl is standing on the other side of the offering box. She's wearing a shrine maiden costume, so she must be one of the caretakers. But there's something else. She's not just one of the shrine people. She is the shrine itself. Because the girl is staring into my eyes. No, she's glaring. I smile fearlessly. I think she heard my challenging words to God. And she's wearing that expression on her face because of that. The words come out naturally. You are the god, aren't you? The girl doesn't nod, but I take that as a yes. What a contradictory emotion. I denied the god of this place, and I'm even challenging its existence. Yet I don't doubt this girl is the god. The girl speaks. A strong will reinforces faith. That's right. That's what I say to myself often. I've never said that to anyone or quoted it from anything. So under normal circumstances, it should be surprised to hear this girl say that. I should be, whoops. But this girl isn't human, so I'm not surprised. I speak to her. God throws the die of fate and has fun with people depending on what it gets. But people have willpower. The stronger the willpower, the less chance of being bound by the result of the die. You see, people can gain a power that's strong enough to fight fate by working hard to the limit.
Yes. I understand that very well. An unshakable belief defeats the die of fate.
That's right. That is the people's revenge against God who plays with the die. It's a song of praise of the people who discover their own fate by limiting God's interference. I will not be denied my sanctity for enduring all the unhappiness and working so hard to get to where I am today. Meaningful laughter comes out from my mouth. But the girl's face shows a strong will. Her expression doesn't even change a bit.
I understand very well. No matter how many times he repeats, this fate doesn't change. That is because of your strong willpower.
That's right. A strong will reinforces fate. A strengthened fate isn't bothered by the results of a die. That means it's an absolute future.
You, a human, found that truth instead of us gods, who have been living for hundreds of years. I admit, your existence is close to being God.
I'm honored. girl glares at me with her eyes half shut. No, it's more like she's proclaiming something to me while showing her strong willpower.
I won't be defeated. We always thought we couldn't win against you. That was why I surrendered. I abandoned hope and crawled around in the wheel of life. But then I learned, the power to believe creates a miracle of faith.
Are you saying your strong will is going to create a miracle to defeat the fate that's created by my strong will? That's logical. Because that's the law of this world. A strong will makes a desired future possible.
We won't be defeated by your strong will.
That's fine. So you insist on being an old god. Try it and see if your willpower can defeat mine. God tests people, yet people aren't allowed to test God. So I'm going to test you here. See if your willpower can defeat my willpower. Come on. Go ahead. Try it. That is clearly a declaration of war from me to God.
So, in this instance, Mio and Hanyu have met.
This is the start of my revenge towards God, who put me through so much misery. And this girl, this God is accepting my challenge directly.
I'm not as powerful as you are. I can't do as many things as you can. Even if my willpower is as strong as yours, you're still more powerful than I am.
That's right. I've gained an overwhelming power. You have absolutely no idea what I had to go through to gain that. You can't even touch me.
I know. I know how powerful you are. Compared to yours, the power me and my friends command is insignificant. But I can choose not to give up. I won't admit my loss or give up until the day when your die rolls 1 and my die rolls 6. I'll prove the strength of my willpower by not surrendering to you for a very long time. When the pile is complete, we'll show up in front of you as equal opponents. And that's when this long battle of fate will come to an end.
Fine. Come on then. We'll see who has the stronger will. Whoever has the stronger will create the future. The future desired by the stronger will come to pass. I will hold my ground. In my future, my grandfather's great work is praised, and he becomes a god, and I take revenge on God for testing me by making me go through such unhappiness. Stupid little god. I'll show you. I'll drag you down from your pedestal.
Chapter 8, Matsuribayashi. And there's the title. Higurashi, when they cry, Kai. Holy fuck!
I am actually really happy that I got myself some tea off to the side here. Music, though, it's pretty great. Whew! Interesting, so I got myself a little bit of a tidbit there that I didn't know about. She had actually met Hanyu before. Or rather, I'm guessing this is more like a meta sense where they are fully aware of like the repeating worlds, so it's just a constant struggle. So that's the whole purpose of this. This entire thing was just trying to overcome Mio Takano's will.
She's the reason all the shit went down!
Interesting. I like that. It's Ryukishi, for crying out loud. And I can't wait to see how much further this goes. Even though this is the last chapter, basically. Which kind of sucks. But then again, we still have Rose Guns days. We have Umineko Hane. Umineko Hane. And we still have Rose Guns Days Season 3 and 4. So I'm still going to be getting my fill of Ryukishi. No doubt on that. But anyway, guys, that is where I'm going to end it. And if you guys like this, be sure to let me know. That one was a lot better. Except for the whole, the sad bit with the grandfather. That was, yeah. But interesting, that little ending bit there of Hanyu and Mios facing off. That was actually pretty damn cool.
Can't wait to do more!
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Damn!
Hello there everybody, Sabato92 here, and if you like this video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And hey, if you guys like my content, then maybe you'd like to check out another channel who I think deserves equal attention. So click that nightmare emblem and check out that channel, or go to the links in the description down below. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.